Hello again everybody and welcome back to the garage. Well, with a fresh MOT on the Suzuki Intruder, I was looking forward to taking it out for a nice ride, and the weather the other day was nice and bright and dry, so I came out to the garage, moved everything out of the way. Nikki's car was parked in front of the garage, and she started up first time, lovely. Was a little bit hard to get into first gear. Obviously I had the clutch pulled in, I had the front brake pulled in, but as soon as I let go of the front brake, she started to move, even with the clutch fully pulled in. Now, the ignition key is down here on the side of the bike, so I was in a little bit of a quandary because both hands were fully employed. I did try and stall the bike, not easy to stall, it's quite a torquey engine this, so Nikki's car was in front of me, and every time I let go of either lever, the bike started to move forward. So yeah, I had to quickly shuffle my hand down very quickly and snatch the ignition off. So yeah, there is a problem with the clutch. Now the clutch lever does feel very soft. I think you can see on the window the level in the reservoir has gone down. All seems nice and dry around here, nothing leaking on the master cylinder, so my suspicion is we have a problem with the clutch slave cylinder. So the first thing I'm going to do is cover the bike with some rags and then take the top off this master cylinder reservoir to see what that looks like inside. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Manky stuff on the diaphragm. Don't really want that, do we? Yeah, and very little fluid left in the reservoir. So I'm going to clean up that diaphragm, pop it back on with the lid just so no more rubbish and moisture gets in there, and then we'll have a look at the slave cylinder. Well, since this is going to involve poking around in the guts of the bike, first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery, and remember what a faff that is. Now I do believe the slave cylinder is behind this left rear engine cover, so let's pop that off. Well, I don't know folks, it's not looking super wet down there, although there is some signs perhaps that there has been fluid leaking and pickling that silver paint up, so yeah. The next thing will be, I think, to bleed all the fluid out the system before we take that slave cylinder off. But that's going to have to wait for another day, because it's time for me to pack away now and go in and have dinner. I am absolutely knackered. I've been working away at various different things all day today. Anyway, we'll get back onto this as soon as we can. Well, it's several days later and I have got myself a slave cylinder repair kit. It definitely said it was for the VS700. Not had great luck with parts saying there for this bike before and actually being for this bike, so fingers crossed. Right, now the first thing to do, I think, is to get that slave cylinder, well, get the whole clutch system completely bled of any remaining fluid. So I'm going to take the cap off the reservoir, see if I can get as much air out as possible, and then bleed it all out from the bottom at the slave cylinder. So yeah, let's crack on with that. Okay folks, well we've hit our first snag. The bleed screw here is seized in. Looks like someone's had a bit of a go at it before. It's a little bit rounded off, and yeah, me trying to get it undone isn't making it any better really. I've given it a good old spray with the plus gas, but yeah, it's not doing a great deal. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a load of rags here, take off the banjo bolt, and then there's only really the fluid in the line, I suppose, that's left, and then take off the slave cylinder without bleeding the system, and then I can undo that perhaps on the bench and replace it. That's my plan anyway, but I need to protect this from all the potential clutch fluid that's going to come out. So pack that with rags, take the banjo bolt off, and then take the slave cylinder off, I think is the plan. Well, there we go. That slave cylinder was a bit of a pig to get off. It seemed to be a bit seized to whatever it mates against. And yeah, you can see the state of this. That sort of black cloud in the fluid came out of the slave cylinder, and yeah, it's pretty filthy, the fluid that came out. And it's got this sort of crusty black ring around it, which I think is the edge of the piston. So yeah, that doesn't look very good either. Well, unfortunately folks, it is getting rather late, as you can see, so that's where I'm going to leave it tonight, and yeah, hopefully we'll get back onto this soon and get that slave cylinder stripped apart.